This is part number 2 of the no-cost freelancing system. We will be talking all about freelancing websites. So here's a little bit about what freelancing websites are. Freelance websites and job boards, they offer a great chance for you to find jobs. Probably one of the best ways to promote yourself, to find active business owners that are seeking your help, and it's one of the quickest ways to get started freelancing. They are high traffic sites that connect freelancers with clients. Most of the largest freelancing sites are free to get an account on and to get started. In fact, many times you can land jobs without having to spend any kind of money at all. You just pay them a very small fee, and sometimes it actually comes out on certain websites, it actually comes out of the seller's portion, so the vendor's portion, the person actually purchasing these services from you, it would actually come out of their portion. They're going to have to pay even more for that connection. So it's a great thing to be a freelancer on a freelancing site because you can generate money without having to invest money into marketing. You fill out your profile and then you go out there and start bidding on jobs. Some sites will let you post your service for clients to even find, and we'll address those as this goes on. The quickest way to find jobs that you can start bidding on is to get active and get going on a few freelancing websites. So here's probably one of the more popular ones out there. It is by far a very large, professional, very easy to use freelancing site, and that is odesk.com. You can actually go to www.odesk.com. And as of right now, this is what the page looks like. You're going to see a button there that says want to hire. You could post a job or want a job. That's where you sign up. So that's where you're going to go, is you're going to just simply choose want a job and sign up. Now within Odesk, this is what their sign up process looks like. You're going to go ahead and just put in your first and last name, your email, your country information, your username and password, and then you're going off to the races there. You could also sign up alternatively with a Facebook account or LinkedIn if you chose to do that as well. Once you're logged in there, just kind of a thing to see inside the freelance account. It said freelance is always free to sign up, to post jobs, to interview candidates, and the same thing goes for people like yourself that are freelancers. And you'll notice that the freelancer rate you see, it's going to include a 10% Odesk fee. So you're not going to pay anything extra. So for example, so if you are somebody that's hiring somebody, they take the 10% out of that set figure. So if it's $20 an hour, they're going to take $2 per hour cut. That's how they make their money. That's how they keep it free. And that's a wonderful thing for you because you're not having to spend money up front on marketing. In fact, right here, they talk about how great careers begin on Odesk, and they're absolutely right because a lot of high paid freelancers start using Odesk. It ranks as the number one in annual freelance earnings as well. That's another big reason we like it. So, again, if you want to understand how it works more, this kind of explains it a little bit better. But the nuts and bolts of it is that you're not paying up front for their service. They're a very high traffic site. There are thousands of jobs up there. There's thousands of potential opportunities for you to apply for. And again, like they pointed out, you can actually start a very good career as a freelancer through their website alone, just this website. So you can also create your freelancer profile by inserting like your image. So here we've got a profile image, and I highly recommend that you do use a profile and that you do use an image on your profile because it's going to help you stand out, and it's going to actually separate you from those that have a picture and those that don't. It doesn't matter what you look like. You don't have to be the prettiest person in the world by your standards. You don't have to be, it really doesn't matter your appearance as much as it really helps the potential buyer, the person paying for the services. It helps them connect with you and kind of understand you, trust you, and get to know who you are. So start off in your profile by doing a really good job of getting good content out there. So start with a good picture when you go out there. You can also go in there, within Odesk, and you can actually look for good profiles so you can get an idea as to what kind of profiles work, what kind of profiles are getting the most attention. So if you go to the odesk.com homepage and you go to the section where you're looking to hire people potentially, you'll find all kinds of options. You've got web programmers, SEO experts, freelance writers, web designers. At the bottom there, design and multimedia, and you can click on any of these categories categories, and it will actually bring up a window where you can actually read about this person's profile, like what they do, what kind of services they offer. And so you'll notice here Ali Asjad's his name. Notice he's using a picture. He's got lots of reviews. He's actually been able to accumulate over 5,000 hours on Odesk. So that tells you he's obviously put together a very nice career on Odesk.com. He was recently active. You can see what his hourly wages for his different services, and you can really see what he's done. So, he's done a good job of kind of portraying who he is, talking a little bit about himself, and this gives you a really good chance to kind of understand who the person is that you're going to hire. So that would be the perspective of the person paying. So that's why you want to have a good profile. So I recommend going out there on Odesk, looking through the different categories, especially the categories you want to be a part of, and watch and look for guys like Ali Asjad here, who has, over 5,000 hours on this site, and he's billing out at $44 an hour. So he's built a very good freelancing business on Odesk itself, because more than likely because he has a really good profile, and also because he does really good service. But it all starts, you had to start somewhere, so you can't just automatically just jump in there and expect to have business. You got to have a good profile to really stand out. So look at other examples of good profiles. This one here, $22.22 an hour, for Vivek here. 498 hours is what he's accumulated. So this individual here's put in over 500 hours. Well, you're just trying to get your first hour, so I'm going to guess that something on his profile may be able to benefit you later on. So here's some other profile things to look at with Odesk, for example. It'll say, please complete your profile before applying for jobs, and it's very important. So like that, people are looking for your hourly rate, your address, the overview of what you are, what you can do. That's where the examples come in that we just gave as far as what to include there. Your phone number is good. That just verifies who you are as a person, and that's going to make people want to hire you. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to share all that information with them, but it helps the Odesk system identify that you are a regular person. You are who you say you are, and it's going to help people get to trust you. You'll also notice inside your job application quota is 2, and that gives you a chance to apply for 2 different jobs right off the bat without having to spend any money. And it's also a good reason to have a good profile, because you don't necessarily have to apply for all these jobs. Certain people looking for a certain skill set may end up finding you. So you can get that application status reset. You'll see this within your account. You'll see these warning or alert boxes. You also want to take the Odesk readiness test, and it's going to allow you to complete your profile, and it's going to increase your job application quota to 20 jobs per week. So that means you can apply to about 80 some jobs per month, 80 plus jobs per month, if you complete this Odesk readiness test, which is a very basic, easy test. So I highly recommend you do this at the very minimum, because that's going to really set you apart. That's going to give you more opportunities to bid. And so anytime there's a free test being offered on any of these freelancing sites, I would recommend taking it. Especially like for writers, they'll ask for like a simple basic English test and things like that. It's really important to your continued and long-term success. Guru.com. So we just talked about Odesk. Guru.com is another very popular freelancing site that you could tap into, that you can find thousands of potential jobs that you could bid on. So if you go out here to guru.com, this is what it's going to look like when you get started here. So you're just going to go in there. This is kind of what the landing page looks like to start building up your profile. What you want to do inside Guru, this is an example of like a press release service where somebody is looking for a press release service. This would be a chance for you to go in. You can see a little bit about who posted the job, the description of the job, and then that green apply button is how you would apply. So these websites are very straightforward. They're very easy and simple for you to navigate and to go through, and you can just find jobs, and you can go out there and you can apply for these jobs and get the high paying jobs or the jobs that you're looking for to start out. Freelancer.com, another very popular website. It used to be called Rent-A-Coder, and they actually ended up merging. They also used to be known as GetAFreelancer.com. So GetAFreelancer, and Rent-A-Coder pretty much all merged together to create Freelancer.com right here. So it's a very big website with a lot of jobs. In fact, this one may actually be the largest now since they merged. But if you go to freelancer.com, you can just click on Browse Projects. You can find all kinds of jobs that you can post on. So I've shown you odesk.com, I've shown you guru.com, and now I'm showing you freelancer.com. These are all very high powered websites with tons of visitors on them, and it's a very similar process when bidding on these projects. You'll notice here on the right hand side there I have the arrow pointing to bid on this project, so you can look for a job. Like if you found through browsing a job about Adobe, for example, build an articulate training program. So here's one, somebody wanting to train their staff. They want to have a training program on how to use a certain software called Articulate. And if you knew how to use that, you could actually do some video tutorials for them and make between $30 and $250 for this project to create this training for them. You could really do the research on this project and things of that nature. So if you click on bid on this project, you can go through that process. You'll notice Freelancer, just like Odesk, they allow you to take exams as well depending on the category you are going into. So obviously if you're not into Adobe Photoshop usage, you're not going to want to take that exam because you're trying to go for writing, or for example, or you're trying to go for something different. So take the exams that make sense for you, and it's going to actually really increase your chance. In fact, they have numbers that suggest that freelancers who pass the exams are 370% more likely to be awarded. So 370%. That means almost 4 times the chance of getting hired for a job if you've passed one of these basic exams that they offer. And they're all free to take. There might be a few that charge, but you can kind of gauge those. But most of them are free to take, and it's well worth your time investment to take these exams, even if it's the basic writing exam or basic English exams, because people are looking for that, with written projects. So, for example, here within Freelancer, on your free account, you have 10 bids. So, you do want to be careful with your bids. You don't want to go out there and just bid on every project. You want to bid on the projects that make sense, on the projects that are starting out, and you can go in there and you can, post your bid. So, on Freelancer, if you go out here and you want to set what do you want to make to do this project. I could say $140 is what I want to make, and so then my bid is going to come across as 155.56, because that's how they make their money. Is they'll pay out, they'll charge the client 155.56, and then they'll pay me the 140 that I want. So you could also you could bid to get your bid ranked up higher. You could do bid rank bidding. Necessarily you don't need to do that, because again, that's paid. We're trying to do this the free way. So we're not trying to get you to go out there and come out there and spend a lot of money. So on Freelancer, Odesk, Guru, they do have some paid options, but again, you could ignore those. These sites have tons of people on them. Take the free exams, help yourself stand out, create a really good profile on these sites, and you can go through the process. It's very straightforward for browsing projects. When you get to the point where you want to place your bid, you just choose place your bid. You could also write out in a description. Some of these sites will allow you to create a proposal. You could write a description as to what separates you from other potential freelancers. And as you can see on freelancer.com, as you browse on their website, you can find so many different projects that you could be bidding on for content writing, all kinds of services as well. This is one other website to consider. So I'm kind of going over the main freelancing websites. Another one of these sites is peopleperhour.com. So that's www.peopleperhour.com. This is another site just like Freelancer, Guru, or Odesk, where you can go out and you can connect yourself with with business owners that are needing help and people that are individuals looking for your services. So you can go out to this site. This is what it looks like on the homepage currently, and you can go out there and sell your services. You'll notice at the top, or you could just sign up for an account on their website. Now, one thing that I love about people per hour that really makes a difference is you could actually post an hourly job in there. So you could say, this one really goes more off your hourly time. So you could say, I can do blank and pick a service. So I can write an article for however long, and you could choose if it's an hourly project, if it's a daily project. So you could say, I can write 10 articles in one day for $60, or I could write a press release for $75. And then you can pick your category for where your project would go. You can type your ad. So if you're good at writing, if you're good at doing Photoshop, if you're good at doing music editing or video editing, that's where you could post in there, I can do blank for such and such amount. And that's a really cool service because then the people looking for your help could actually come across you on their website. Another site that a lot of people bypass that they think, oh no, this has nothing to do with, with freelance work is Craigslist, Craigslist.org. A lot of people don't realize this. How Craigslist makes money is in the job listing categories for most instances. That's where they actually charge business owners who are looking for to hire people. They would go to the job section and post. Well, you can go out here on Craigslist in your area, Craigslist.org. I just have Baltimore up here as an example. Any Craigslist, no matter where you are, Washington, New York, wherever you're located, go to the Craigslist in your area, and it could be a Craigslist anywhere. You could actually look at a Craigslist all over the world because a lot of these jobs, they're looking for simple web and graphic design. They're looking for content creators. So you can look in the job section or the gigs section, and you can find jobs that you could do. You can find writing jobs. You can look under the different writing jobs under gigs, for example. Gigs is found in the right hand corner, and this is where you can go out there in your area and you can actually post your or actually respond to posts where people are looking for writers. They're looking for computer type services in your area. So it's a great chance to go out to Craigslist.org in your area. It may not be near as saturated as a freelancing site, so it's a great chance to kind of go under there, especially if you find those underserved markets on Craigslist that don't have a lot of people. There may not be a lot of competition for the different gigs and jobs that are posted. So it's a great chance to come in. And because you're a writer, you don't have to live in Baltimore, for example. You don't have to live in the area they're showing. Another style of freelance sites that you can use is 99designs.com. This is for those of you that are graphic designers. If you're writers and those types of things, you can skip this part of the training here. But 99 Designs is a way where you can go out here and you can actually bid on designs that people have posted. So somebody could say, hey, I'm looking for a logo design, I'm looking for web design help. You could actually create a design. It gives you more designs and options in your portfolio, but what it also does is it helps separate you, from the competition because now you have more designs. It gives you more practice, but it gives you a chance to bid on projects, and next thing you might have the best design or the chosen design that ends up getting you paid, and so then you make money that way. So you can look at 99designs.com, see how you can offer your services to them. Another website to look at, this is a website just related to writing jobs. It's freelancewritinggigs.com. And when you land on their website, you will get optioned a pop-up with where you can put in your name and your email, and that will get you on a list where they will send you emails of potential new writing jobs that you could be the first to know about. You can go out there and apply for these jobs. And so this is what freelance writing gigs looks like. This is an example of a recent job that was posted. You can go out here and you can find, people looking for a web content writer in the Baltimore area, and you could go through here, see if it's a job for you, contact them, and most of them are, jobs where they're not looking for people to be local. So iWriter.com is one other site similar to freelance writing gigs. It's only focused on writing jobs. iWriter is a really good, unique service because you actually can actually go out there. It's a great spot to find writing jobs instantly. There's tons of writing jobs out there, and as if all the other freelancing sites don't have enough work for you, here's another option for you: iWriter.com. iWriter.com, just create an account on here and you can get started creating content for money. Another place, if none of these options I gave you work for you, you can also do a Google search for freelancing sites and you can come across a multitude of additional freelancing sites that weren't mentioned here. The ones that I really handpicked here were ones that have a lot of visitors. They are free websites, so they're quality freelancing websites. They've got a good track record. And the other thing that they have going for them is that they also are free. A lot of them, most of them are free. There's some freelancing sites where they make you pay a monthly fee to be a part of, whereas these ones that I mentioned are all free. They're not going to charge you up front. You're going to be able to make some money before they ask you to spend any, if they end up doing that at all. And so it's a great way to go, and you can build a very successful freelancing business utilizing freelancing sites. It's the perfect way to promote your services and to get business going right away. So get going, start your profile on a freelancing site, sign up with one of these sites, pick one, and just start taking action, creating your profile, browsing around, looking for jobs that you can become a part of, that you can apply for. Get your content together, get your graphics together so you have stuff to show people as examples, and get to work.